This is your local election headquarters.
Welcome back. This week, well, Friday afternoon to be exact, the major news broke that Representative Garret Graves announced he would not be running for re-election in Congress. Now, in his statement, he said it was evident that a run in any temporary district due to redistricting would damage Louisiana's reputation in Congress. Graves' district was greatly redrawn in a new map this year. Former President Donald Trump returned to Capitol Hill to meet with House and Senate Republicans. The visit comes as lawmakers gear up for elections in the fall. This was former President Trump's first visit to Capitol Hill since leaving office. It comes as most polls show Trump tied with President Joe Biden in the race for the White House. Senator John Kennedy was part of the group who met with the former president and had this to say about the meeting.
This is John Kennedy. I'm at the airport trying to get out of Washington, D.C. and back to America, back to Louisiana. I just left the meeting with Republican senators and President Trump. It was a great meeting. The president looks tan. He looks rested. He looks ready for a fight. We talked a little bit about politics. He shared with us some recent polling data. You'll probably not be surprised to learn that President Biden is polling right up there with hemorrhoids. President Trump shared with us some of his thoughts about how we're going to get these prices down as a result of President Biden's inflation. We talked about illegal immigration and how we're going to secure the border. We talked about crime. We talked about how our enemies throughout the world had lost respect for America and how we're going to gain it back, and more importantly, not only gain their respect, but earn their fear and increase defense spending. All in all, it was a very, very positive, happy meeting.
Louisiana's congressional delegation is sharing their thoughts after a jury convicted President Biden's son on federal gun charges. After hours of deliberations, Hunter Biden was convicted on all 3 charges linked to his possession of a gun while using narcotics. Following the verdict, Senator Bill Cassidy and Speaker of the House Mike Johnson of Louisiana praised the jury's decision, saying it was the right call. Listen.
No one is above the law, not even the president's son. If he lied to the FBI on his application for a gun license, that's the sort of thing that gives law-abiding gun owners a bad name.
It doesn't. Every case is different, and clearly the evidence was overwhelming here. I don't think that's the case in the Trump trials, and all the charges that have been brought against him have been obviously brought for political purposes. Hunter Biden is a separate instance.
As for Hunter, an appeal is planned, but it's possible he will face time in prison. The Supreme Court on Friday struck down a Trump-era ban on bump stocks, a rapid-fire gun accessory that was used in the deadliest mass shooting in modern U.S. history. The High Court's conservative majority found that the Trump administration did not follow federal law. The 6-3 majority opinion written by Justice Clarence Thomas said a semi-automatic rifle with a bump stock is not an illegal machine gun because it doesn't make the weapon fire more than one shot with one pull of the trigger. Justice Samuel Alito wrote a short separate opinion to stress that Congress can change the law to equate bump stocks with machine guns. In a victory for abortion rights advocates, the U.S. Supreme Court rejected a legal challenge to the abortion pill mifepristone. The unanimous ruling preserves access to the widely used medication. For now, Washington correspondent Jesse Tenor explains.
Both sides say this is still far from over, since the ruling was not about the safety of the medication, but whether abortion opponents had the legal right to sue. All 9 U.S. Supreme Court justices rejected a lawsuit seeking to restrict access to the abortion pill mifepristone. But both sides of the debate say that's not the final word.
We'll continue to advocate for women's health and seek to restore common sense safeguards for abortion drugs.
Erin Hawley with the Alliance for Defending Freedom represented the plaintiffs. She argued against FDA regulations that allow easy access to the drug, calling it dangerous.
We're hopeful that the FDA will be held to account for putting politics above women's health.
The Supreme Court decision, for now, allows people to still easily access mifepristone, which is used in about 2/3 of all abortions.
This is not a cause for celebration. because the reality is certain things are still not going to change.
Vice President Kamala Harris argues too many women still lack access to abortions.
2/3 of women of reproductive age in America live in a state with a Trump abortion ban.
Abortion is banned at all stages of pregnancy in 14 states and after about 6 weeks of pregnancy in 3 others. Republicans, like Florida Congressman Byron Donalds, say the federal government should stay out of it.
This is an issue that states are going to make decisions on.
But the Senate's top Democrat, Leader Chuck Schumer, argues Republicans in Congress are still working to roll back access.
This shouldn't be a decision women are forced to fear year after year.
And Schumer has been bringing reproductive rights legislation to the Senate floor for votes, largely to put Republicans on the record in an election year. And the latest effort involving federal protections for IVF treatments failed yesterday. In Washington, I'm Jessie Chenor.